The worst time for writer's block. This is your job, just talk. I got nothing. Hey boss, writer's block. What the hell do I talk about this week?
Writer's block or just lazy?
Laziness. No, I already did that episode.
Disturbing me for nothing should be a sin.
Sin? Sin! I could do a sin!
I'd be proud of you if you weren't such an arrogant little...
Pride! That's absolutely perfect. Thanks, boss. Back to work I go.
Don't you hang up on me, you little...
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris Taylor, and I just hung up on my boss. You know, that fills me up with a certain sense of joy. The fact that I'm confident enough in the message of this show to ignore the man in charge. What a time to be alive. But he did bring up a good point. Sinning! Back in the dark ages where the Bible was to the human race what television and YouTube is now, sinning was the way the powers that be, the church, condemned certain acts. In my opinion, those acts are, well, not exactly the worst of the bunch. Murder isn't one of the 7 deadly sins, neither is rape or any sexual assault really. Lust is on there and that kind of encompasses that, but the fact remains it's a strange list. We here at Devious Advocacy are always happy to showcase our opinions on things. Most certainly the other side of things. Things that don't always come to light. Some could say we are proud to do so. Good segue? Bad segue? Whatever. Roll the credits. First and foremost, we need to get one simple point out of the way. We are not talking about arrogance here. Pride and arrogance are distant cousins confused as twins while having very little in common. Pride is being able to do something with skill and showcasing that skill. Arrogance is shoving it in your opponent's face. Arrogance is bragging without being able to back it up. Arrogance will get you punched in the face by your closest friends just because you won't shut up about what you're good at. Arrogance is overconfidence. Pride, just right. So since we're going to be talking about the good and not the overbearing bad, where exactly do we start? Well, the way we start a lot of these things, at the beginning. Childhood. Childhood, I think, is when we first find pride in its most true form. We're just starting out, learning and growing and following what is told of us. Our parents know best, most of the time anyways, so we start imitating and doing what they do. A little girl has a tea party with her stuffed animals because her mommy has tea with her friends. A boy grabs some army men because he sees his father playing Call of Duty. And yes, those genders can be reversed, I'm just making an example here. But sooner or later, you stop imitating. You stop just doing what you see and you start exploring. Maybe you go outside and start digging dirt. Maybe you grab a piece of paper and pencil and start describing things that you see in your head. At first, this could be disastrous, as maybe you take a bunch of crayons to the wall or turn your bathroom into a Jackson Pollock.
What did you do?
I made the mustache.
With what?
With peanut butter.
But you're just a child. You don't know that what you're doing is wrong. You're just experimenting in a way that only a child can get away with. And that is where the passage of time helps us, and pride develops further as well. The teenage years are notorious for attempting to find your own way and not necessarily succeeding. Alas, the same explorations as was done as children applies here too. In high school, taking on music courses and learning to play an instrument, maybe even joining a band and doing covers of your favorite songs. At first, anyways. Later, writing your own lyrics, composing your own songs together as a group, creating something where nothing was there before. Now that is something to be proud of. It's not just your options though, it's the classes themselves. Finishing every report on time, acing tests and proving your scholarly acumen. Proving your worth in comparison to others in your grade level. The thing about pride is that it comes in many forms. The reason why it's a sin is because it feels good. But why? If you accomplish something wonderful, why wouldn't you feel good about it? You're taking your talents and applying them in such a way as to increase the joy that's in the world. And yes, in a totally selfish way, it's about making yourself feel good about what you are capable of. Either in working together to become greater than the sum of your individual parts, or even on your own, doing the best with what you have inside. Feeling pride over what you've accomplished is a wonderful feeling. For example, this YouTube channel. With every episode we put out, every new subscriber or comment, all of it is something that I am exceedingly proud of. And rightfully so. How many people just give up before they reach their goals? How many people never attempt because of their fear of failure? Pride can be a powerful tool that drives you forward. You feel proud for what you can do, and so you work harder. Push yourself further than anyone else can push you. It's dangerous, of course. The aforementioned arrogance can quickly taint that which pride does well, but when kept in check, pride can be a fantastic ally. And finally, as you get older and start a family of your own, there is one more form that pride can take. The form of your children, should you choose to have them. And yes, again, this is somewhat selfish, and yet, it's also honest. See, that tiny little human being that you created, they're gonna have so many opportunities themselves to do what you yourself did in terms of learning and growing, and also to not repeat your own mistakes. You can guide that little human, teach them, and even grow with them. A common myth is that adults know what they're doing. We don't. We are just as lost and confused as the children we attempt to teach, but we still try. And by raising these children, watching them learn, seeing what they're capable of, and knowing that we had a hand in how that child is going to grow up, is there anything more that you can be proud of? Despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary, I do hope I managed to shed sunlight into how pride isn't actually a sin. Whether it be as a child, figuring things out and learning what you're capable of, or as a teenager pushing those limits further and harder, pride is an excellent tool in one's arsenal of adulthood. And while it can be easily confused with arrogance, when kept in check, pride can be the difference between succeeding at what you want to accomplish and giving up before you even try. Something to think about when raising your own little ones, don't you think? As always, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to keep up with everything we have going on here at Devious Advocacy. And if you wish to get to know us more on a personal level, click the link in the description below to keep the discussion going on Discord. Let me take a personal moment to thank our wonderful patrons, giving us financial support as well as emotional. Your encouragement is the driving force behind us continuing to do what we do here. But most importantly, let us know in the comments below what you think. Am I arrogant for assuming that pride isn't so bad? By all means, let your own views clash with my own, so that I may proceed to prove you wrong.
I drink, and I know things.
But for now, in the case of pride, the defense rests.
Lindsay, by you reaching the level of attending physician, you've somehow managed to become a member of a club that I belong to. Obviously, there was no vote, because if there had been, you would still hear the sound of my voice screaming, nay, nay, oh dear God, 1,000 times nay.